We're literally calling these people degenerates for dancing and twerking on the street. I mean, young 20-year-olds have done this throughout history. Do you remember the 90s in Ibiza when all white kids were out partying, getting your get your tits out, love? This has happened for years, but for some reason, there's some sort of thing in some of these guys' brains where they see a black person twerking, they go, oh, no, it's degenerate, it's disgusting, you're disgusting. Greetings and welcome. Now, what's been in the news this week? What have the billionaires, your Rupert Murdochs, that investment banker from GB News, what have they been deciding that we should talk about this week? Well, I think it's mainly been Notting Hill Carnival, hasn't it? That seems to be mainly on the news agenda this week. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd use my multi-millions to get people talking about, I don't know, the fact that our schools are literally falling apart at the moment because they're so badly underfunded. That's how little shit this government gives about our kids, that they're literally, roofs are falling from the ceiling in our schools. I'd be talking about further NHS doctor nurses strikers. Well, you know, why do we pay our NHS staff the least out of any Western country? Why? And yeah, I'll be talking about various things like that, but no, the elites above us have decided we're going to talk about Notting Hill Carnival this week. And to be honest, there's a decent conversation to be had there. There really is. Are the medias above us choosing those conversations? No, they're not really. I find it quite interesting, actually, the difference between the two medias. If you take a Telegraph headline, 8 stabbings, violence and insanity on our streets with machete-wielding maniacs. And then if you go to the other extreme, the Guardian headline, mostly good times had by all at Notting Hill Carnival. It's crazy. I guess that as always with these topics, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. But there's a conversation to be had here, definitely. None of the medias are having this conversation. They're just talking about Notting Hill Carnival, should it be banned? No one's actually talking about, they're talking about the symptoms. They're not talking about the cause. Why? Why are our kids, why are our youth on record numbers stabbing each other? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to look into. Why is this happening? Because Notting Hill Carnival is not the cause of these stabbings. It's not like every year all the kids go, right lads, get your knives, get your machetes, we're going down Notting Hill Carnival to stab everyone. That's not what's going on here. They live in an epidemic of violence and gangs and drugs. This is their life. So when there is a festival in London and everyone gets together, stabbings happen because you see that kid that was selling drugs in your area last night. I'm going to fucking do him. This is what we need to look into, and this is what we need to talk about. The fact that this gang and violence and drug culture in our youth, and it's not just black kids, okay? This is happening across the whole country. If it's in Manchester, it's white kids. If it's in Birmingham, it's Asian kids. It doesn't matter the colour. It's the fact that our youth has been neglected for so long. The last 13 years, they've had cuts in education, cuts in policing to deal with this. Cuts in councils, massive cuts in government council funding to be able to give other opportunities to kids. They've been neglected for so long, and that's why when the only game in town is selling drugs and an unregulated drug industry where they can just stab each other when the competition gets too much, that's why we see stuff like this. This is why we're getting an epidemic of knife crime. No one wants to talk about this for some reason. They just want to talk about, well, it's the carnival, isn't it? It's the Notting Hill Carnival that's causing the problems. Yeah, okay. Nothing to do with our youth being utterly neglected for so many years. And you know me, I love an excuse to talk about my opinions on drug laws, but I've done it on many a video. You can see it all the time, but I'll keep it quick. If you're going to hand a multi-billion-pound industry over to inner city kids to deal with, that's completely unregulated, when you can just kill the competition when they're getting too much, this is what's going to happen. But the Tories love this, especially when you see more and more prisons going into the private sector where we're literally getting a profit from imprisoning these people. these kids. We give them an environment where the drug game is the only thing in town, where it's the only prospect of making money, and then we imprison them and make a profit out of doing it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how our society deals with our youth, our kids, our own kids, and it needs to change. We can't keep going around this cycle of, oh, well, we can't invest anything. We can't invest anything in our kids. We've got no money. We've had 13 years of this, right? 13 years of not investing a single penny in our kids. And this is what happens. This is what we get. You seem surprised that we're getting knife violence on our streets because this is the environment that we've handed over to our kids. We have to change. We have to start investing in our kids. Obviously, if you look at it practically, it's better for the economy. Wouldn't it be better for the economy if our kids were tax-paying citizens, these kids? Yeah, just imagine if we just had two problems in one. We have a massive housing problem in this country. Imagine if we'd done a program of well-paid apprenticeships for our kids to learn how to build houses, solar panel installation, all this good stuff. Imagine if we could put out a massive program. That would be better for the economy. These kids would have good jobs. They'd be paying tax. They'd have money in the taxable money in their pockets. And things have to change. They have to change. We can't keep dealing with our youth like this. And like I started the video with, it's just strange the difference between the two medias, where you got the Guardian that want to completely ignore it, it seems. And I think some people on the left don't want to criticise Notting Hill Carnival at all because they're scared of the racial element. But criticise the cause, not the symptoms. Notting Hill Carnival, for years and years, has been an amazing carnival festival that has been enjoyed by many people. But it's a product of our environment, and when our environment gets more violent, and when our kids get more violent because they're completely neglected by our government, more violence will turn up at Notting Hill Carnival. And like I say, criticise the problems, not the symptoms. And you get that from the left, and then on the flip, on the right side, you get some really disgusting underlining racism from some of these news articles. We're literally calling these people degenerates for dancing and twerking on the street. I mean, young 20-year-olds have done this throughout history. Do you remember the 90s in Ibiza when all white kids were out partying, getting your get your tits out, love? This has happened for years, but for some reason, there's some sort of thing in some of these guys' brains where they see a black person twerking, they go, oh, no, it's degenerate, it's disgusting, you're disgusting. This is nothing new, okay? 20-year-olds being sexualized, being out, having sex, wanting to get with other kids. This has happened for years and years and years. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. And this happened last week. Exactly the same scenes were happening a couple of weeks ago here in Brighton for Gay Pride. People twerking on the streets, showing their butts, showing their tits. It happens. But when it's white people, they don't mind it, but for some reason they get angry. Well, we know why, because it's Murdoch, because it's multi-billionaire investors in GB News. They want to divide us. That's exactly what they want to do. They've been doing it for years. They want to divide us. Okay, this story is fantastic. They will wet their pants over Notting Hill Carnival because it's got everything. It's got violence, it's got sexualization, it's got the difference in races. This is exactly how they want to divide us. I think that's me done, guys. I don't like doing a video when it's raining, but what are you going to do? What's your thoughts? Okay, we need to sort out our youth. We need to invest in our youth, and we need to sort out our drugs policy. I know I go over again, but it's just failing our kids, and we have an environment of violence. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. Manchester, even down here on the south coast in Hastings, is a drug-saturated town. Brighton is. We need to sort out this problem. We need to start treating drug addicts as a health issue, not a criminal issue, and we need to invest in our youth. We need to give them prospects, okay? Not just, there's so many bright kids out there that are not getting a chance to be what they want to be. I think that's me done. Till next time, take care. Oh God, just go round him, mate. Honestly, is it worth having an argument? Why is that worth getting so upset about? Just get on with your day. What's the point of having an argument? Oh, okay, you had to move a couple of feet to get round the car. What a nightmare. You know, people are dying of AIDS in Africa, mate.